Types, purposes, styles, and why people convene. Humor columnist Dave Barry once said, "If you had to identify in one word the reason why the human race has not achieved and never will achieve its full potential, that word would be meetings." Despite the fact that most people are occasionally frustrated by meetings and many even mock them, people are driven to convene, to meet. There's many ways to convene as there are individuals and agendas. Business people typically gather to exchange ideas, show each other appreciation, improve morale, communicate issues, increase sales, solve problems, and even just because the boss makes them. People convene for education. Learning happens through communicating issues, introducing new tools for success, sharing personal knowledge and professional experience, and doing coursework that results in certification or licensing. Folks come together every day the world over to be entertained, pulled together by shared interest and the adrenaline rush of crowd emotion. Everything from horse races to NASCAR, watching or playing football to cricket, and attending Victoria's Secret lingerie shows to spelling bees constitutes entertainment. People are drawn together at social events to share their affection for each other and indulge their personal connections. We celebrate milestones in our lives by gathering at affairs and parties, and we sometimes gather just to share a drink, a bite to eat, and the stories of our lives, not for any specific reason other than to just enjoy each other's company. Sometimes people meet out of the force of habit, or just because. Business events are almost always designed and held to improve a company, organization, or government entity overall, or to focus on a certain aspect of it, new technology for example, and improve employee capacity to learn, implement, and perform it. Though sometimes quite stodgy and staid, a United Nations special hearing for instance, business groups worldwide are recognizing and embracing the fact that people assimilate knowledge and produce better when they are happy and having fun. Here's a list of the major business events, the purposes they serve, and suitable styling ideas for each. Board meetings. Boards of directors are responsible for giving direction to and overseeing companies and organizations. They oversee policies, goals, chief executives, finances and budgets, and fair stakeholder practices. When they meet, it's all about the business getting done, and what they really need is a secure and private conference room facility with comfortable chairs, ample table room, refreshments, any technology requested, and ready access to a messenger or errand runner and a business services center. Decor other than an elegant floral arrangement on a side table is by and large unnecessary. Conventions. The variety of convention types is limitless. In one 12-month period, the city of Las Vegas might host conventions for credit union managers, national park staff, photographers, medical equipment suppliers, church clergy, the National Meat Association and National Veterinarian Apartment Associations, the Association of University Technology, and dozens more. Most of these take places in the town's mega hotels and convention centers. In Las Vegas and elsewhere, conventions typically draw large groups, so housing them where they convene is important. The styles of the events are everything from austere to elegant as dictated by the organizers' visions. General meetings. Many corporations and not-for-profits hold annual general meetings where executive and management level employees meet for a few days to set direction for the business, socialize and network, team build, give recognition, and boost morale. Because these events encompass so many elements, practices and gatherings that stand alone as individual events in many cases, really nice properties like 4- or 5-star hotels are often appropriate. Attendees are pampered by the luxury and decor inherent in the facility, which should have ample small meeting rooms and a ballroom for a cocktail party and/or dinner. Intensive. Intensives are typically leadership and team building events that build up attendee stamina and confidence while improving their problem solving and team playing skills. Many such events feature outdoor ropes, zip line, and climbing wall courses, and even survival training. These events are well suited to outdoor training or military facilities, and attendees often bivouac in tent communities, sometimes for months. Retreats. Retreats are, by definition, opportunities for a group of people to get away from it all and focus specifically on one or two elements of their personal or professional existence. They are sometimes designed to help overworked executives simply relax and feel whole again. Others focus on improving a skill with emphasis day in and day out on issues like negotiation, communication, and motivating others. Any place that is completely out of the ordinary for the participants is ideal. For example, a group of harried Miami attorneys might do well at a remote dude ranch where they deal with and learn to manage stress by riding and cleaning up after horses and playing cards in the evening in their cabins that have no access to telephones, internet, or television. Sales meetings. Because sales meetings focus on certain products or services and train the sales associates to know the product or service, embrace it, communicate its benefits, and prepare to launch a successful sales campaign, sales meetings can be intense and exhausting. Managers often choose resort settings for these meetings because giving the associates fun outlets as rewards for their hard work achieves two goals. The experience makes them happy, hence more effective, and it also builds loyalty. Some of the elements of retreat isolation can come in handy for sales meetings as well, because focus and commitment are the names of the sales game. Shareholder meetings. Shareholders are very important people to companies. They typically meet once annually to elect the corporation's directions. When these meetings occur, the shareholders really should be recognized for their contribution to the financial stability and management of the corporation. A chartered yacht is an ideal venue for such a meeting. It's private and luxurious, and once the business is done, the shareholders can be thanked with fine dining, water sports, the luxury of private cabins, and an exceptional staff, and an opportunity to enjoy each other's company in a purely elite escapist environment. Teleconferences and web conferences. Teleconferences, also referred to as teleseminars, allow people to convene even if some of them are in another city or country at the time of the meeting. Simplified, teleconferencing uses audio and video technology to bring a person or group of people into another group meeting by audio only or audio video. This meeting technology is always less expensive than transporting one group to another faraway destination, putting them up and providing meeting space. Contemporary teleconferencing technologies include computers online, telephone service, voice over internet protocol or VoIP, and various search engine company software applications. All that's required for this type of meeting is the appropriate technology online and conference room or facilities for the participants. Webcasts. Best described as internet broadcasting, webcasts allow any number of people anywhere in the world to watch a program live or access it on demand. Webcasts seldom feature any interactivity between viewers, but if a company or organization needs to inform an unlimited number of people about just about anything, they can use webcasting to transmit educational resources and deliver presentations to the webcast attendees at their individual desks or offices. Often business events or elements of business events, educational gatherings are breaking out more and more as standalones for people who want to learn about and practice self-improvement skills and techniques. Educational events have one common goal: teach attendees something new. What sets them apart are factors like size and duration of event, how hands-on the participants are required to be, how deep into one or more subjects the curriculum delves. Primary categories of educational events and an example of possible goal and styling for each follow. Classes and seminars. Businesses and special interest groups commonly utilize classroom teaching environments for educating employees about advances in their field or introducing new information relative to a group focus. When these classes cannot readily be held via internet broadcasts, airport hotels can be good locations because the attendees can essentially fly directly to the meeting venue. Classroom-style seating is preferred for these events because each attendee has work table space in front of their seating. Adequate audio-video is essential. Airport hotels can be somewhat remote, so planners should make sure to provide meal and entertainment opportunities for the guests. Clinics. Clinics typically require hands-on participation by attendees. For example, a group of animal vets might convene to learn how to perform dental radiography on a wide variety of animals and then make dental repairs based on X-ray findings. In this instance, the best venue for the clinic would be on-site at a veterinary hospital that is fully equipped with state-of-the-art equipment. Clinics typically do not take place at hotels, so care must be given to accommodations, food and beverage, and transfers for the guests. Forums. Forums give all attendees a chance to participate in discussions of topics typically led by a panel of experts. For a small group, a U-shaped setup in a meeting room is sufficient. But if the group is extremely large, in the case of a big political rally, for example, a coliseum might be the best option. Those who only want to observe can be seated in the outer rings of seats, while those who plan to speak can be closer to the central dais. In this arrangement, large monitors and a great sound system need to be used so all attendees can see and hear the action, and microphones need to be accessible to blocks of seating around the lower rail. It might also be essential to provide the moderators with a list of participants and topics ahead of time and allow for open question and answer periods after each session. Lectures. As the name implies, these events are well suited to college or university auditoriums set up theater style. The speaker should have a table, podium, water, and candy at the dais, and be provided audio-video equipment as requested. Though not much typically needs to be done in the way of decor for a lecture or lecture series, the speaker may want to provide samples or visual aids on the stage or in the lobby. Symposiums. As with forums, symposiums involve attendees as presenters. Unlike forums, these presenters are on the speaker agenda and have prepared and often lengthy presentations. Theaters can be good venues for symposiums because of seating capacity and scope of stage. Each speaker can keep their materials at the ready behind the stage while they attend the other speakers' presentations. Theaters also offer opportunity for large-scale screen presentations with full audio, allowing guests in the back or on the balcony to see and hear everything well. Trainings. Training events often require all participants to try out gear, do practice drills, and participate in a variety of physical activities. A meeting planner might use an airport hangar for a training event because it's easily accessible from the destination airport and offers enclosed but ample space for activities. When planning a hangar training program, try to locate one that is also near an airport hotel for ease of accommodation and make sure the hangar has sufficient sanitary facilities, a minimum number of 1 toilet per 70 participants. Workshops. Like training programs, workshops often involve hands-on participation by attendees. If the workshop is business-related, holding it in a company warehouse where attendees can become immersed in the nature and products of the business might be just the thing. Vacant warehouses, often configured for hosting craft fairs and flea markets, can work well for workshops as well because they have spaces to set up various phases of the hands-on program, and attendees can move from project to project as they finish each previous one. It could be argued that there is no such thing as an essential special event. People don't have to be entertained, enlightened, or introduced to new things, or do we? Some events, like fundraisers and trade shows, for example, have tangible impact. They create revenue streams for politicians and charities, and trade shows can be valuable marketing tools for products and services. Fashion shows and sporting events, from the attendee point of view, may only seem like entertainment, but in fact the former serves as the face of a multi-billion-dollar industry and builds its sales, and the latter creates a multi-billion-dollar industry and sizable business sector services to support it. These are just some of the special events held regularly worldwide, and short notes on their purpose and styling potential. Art exhibits. Much of the time it is easiest to host art exhibits at existing galleries rather than transport the artwork to another venue. Transporting artwork is expensive and requires insurance and special handling. However, artists do convene their works for special shows and exhibits. Mansions make good exhibit halls for such events as they tend to have large rooms and high ceilings, thus accommodating very large pieces and sizable crowds. One of the key elements to remember when planning an art exhibit is security. From electronics to security personnel active during the exhibit and after hours, security is paramount to protecting valuable artworks. Auctions. Depending on what is being auctioned, an arena can be a very good location because the items can be displayed on the floor for pre-auction viewing, then projected on an overhead screen during the auction itself. If the auctioneer uses electronic buzzers to register bids, the attendees can sit anywhere in the arena. If bids are registered visually, only about 1/3 of the arena should be open for seating so the auctioneer team can see all bidders. Book signings. Book signings can be held almost anywhere there's enough room for the anticipated crowd and a way to readily transport the books to the signing location. When setting up a book signing, consider developing a strategic alliance with a botanical garden that is always or can be open to the public. A pathway through the garden gives the attendees something to enjoy while they await their turn with the author. Public gardens often welcome such events because they increase the garden's fan base. Client employee appreciation and tributes. When a company or individual wants to host a formal tribute or thank you event, it's always a very special and heartfelt occasion. Country or golf clubs are good for such events because of their exclusivity. Such venues send the message, "You mean a lot to us and this is a very special event." Such tributes should have electronic or other visual displays of the relevant history of the individual or individuals being honored. Generally, an elegant and formal sit-down dinner is a cornerstone of the event. Community programs. When an organizer plans an event that invites the entire community, it should be held in a familiar and centralized location like Main Street. If there are structured activities such as lectures, presentation, and/or food, it's wise to provide a facility like a city hall building or big tent to protect attendees from inclement weather. With some pre-planning, most cities and towns will cordon off a number of blocks, barring automobile traffic, for such an event. Parking, permitting, and insurance are major considerations when planning outdoor community programs. Concerts. Concert halls are the obvious location for many musical events, but nothing pleases a crowd more than a concert in the park. Considerations need to be made as to protecting the musicians and their instruments from changes in the weather and staying clear of background noise like street traffic. The sound system must also be more than adequate because of the open-air environment, and setting aside areas for people to dance is also advisable. If the group or bands are high profile, it may be necessary to provide them with security, dressing room trailers, and a VIP access corridor. Expositions and trade consumer shows. When planning a large-scale event where many exhibitors will be bringing in their displays and products from all over the world, it is highly recommended that planners use established and seasoned expo facilities. These facilities have staff that know how to plan the space, provide adequate electricity and other resources to each booth area, and have teams of decorators and other service providers they work with regularly. For trade shows or expos, starting in an untried venue with no experienced staff is a colossal undertaking and not recommended. Fairs and festivals. From country agriculture events to pirate and medieval extravaganzas, organizers simply can't beat using existing fairgrounds. As with expo centers, fairgrounds have a management team well versed in what aspects of each event are best suited to particular areas of the property, how to manage traffic flow, where to place portable sanitary facilities and how many are needed, and who all the local suppliers of essential goods and services are. Fairgrounds are a one-stop shop for indoor-outdoor festivals and other events. Fashion shows. Any place that has enough space for models, apparel, dressers, and hair and makeup backstage, and a room for ample runway and seating is a good place for a fashion show. Although these shows are often held at theaters and utilize the stage, this is not ideal, as having a runway through the audience gives all attendees equal visual access to the apparel displayed. Fashion show venues should also have an area where attendees, designers, and models can have a meet and greet after the show and socialize over food and beverage. Fundraisers. Museums can be excellent venues for fundraisers of all kinds because they make people feel wise and grand, a mood combination that fosters generosity. When using a museum space, always provide ample security for existing exhibits and plan traffic flow through various giving rooms. For example, you may want to have wine in the silent auction room, cocktails in the cash donations area, etc. That way guests will move from opportunity to opportunity while pursuing food and beverage varieties. Historic reenactments. These events typically require a great deal of space, and many attendees have made a significant investment in their accoutrements, so access to secure storage may be required. Private land or public land with barn-like facilities and a generous parking area well away from the action is ideal. States and countries have varying requirements for large-scale get-togethers like historical reenactments, so organizers need to make sure that all permits, zoning, sanitary, and safety regulations are obtained and adhered to. Political rallies. Nothing puts a group into a patriotic mood more than a historic building steeped in political history. Political rallies are known for generating unexpected results, so planners of them need to be prepared to accommodate an unexpectedly large audience outside the venue as well as inside, and security is essential. When hosting a rally in a historic venue, plan ahead to add speakers and video screens outside in case of an overflow, and obtain permission to cordon off an area around the venue for safety and traffic flow. Road shows. Road shows are events that pick up, pack up, move from destination to destination, unpack, then do it all over again. They might be business road shows where staff meet with potential investors, band or theater troupe performances, car shows, or events like the Antiques Roadshow that invites folks to bring possessions for valuation. In many of these cases, a massive parking lot is ideal. The perimeter of the lot can be used for parking, while the interior is set with a tent and/or stage, areas for VIP accommodation, food and beverage locales, etc. Because parking lots are a clean slate, the design of the roadshow can readily be plugged into each venue without much in the way of reconfiguration. Sporting events. The vast majority of sporting events require a certain type of playing field like racetracks and arenas. As with expos and trade shows, sporting event organizers should rely heavily on the skills and expertise of venue staff for event planning. These people know how to manage traffic, crowd control, ticketing, audio-video, food and beverage, and much more. If the event is less environmentally restricted, a hunt for example, it is wise to consult with regional hunting clubs and game authorities on matters of permits, location, and best safety practices. Every bride will tell you she, at one time or another during the planning of her wedding, suffered from extreme sticker shock. It is amazing and sometimes alarming how much money people will spend together with their friends and family for a celebrity event, ceremony, or party. It is no surprise, though, because social events are emotional events. People are willing to invest in the great emotional milestones of their lives. Furthermore, the sky is the limit when theming a personal event. Here are a few styling ideas for and motivations behind social events. Anniversaries. Anniversary get-togethers lend themselves well to fairly intimate gatherings of family and close friends. A day at a winery where attendees can taste wines, wander the vineyards, mingle in small groups, and enjoy the celebration over a sit-down meal makes for a very memorable celebration. Many vineyards have or are affiliated with resort hotels, making it possible for the anniversary to also serve as a family reunion. Ceremonies. Churches and other religious facilities are obvious locales for ceremonies that bind people together. Many also have function halls and extensive property for outdoor ceremonies and receptions. If spirituality or issues of legality are not necessarily elements of the ceremonial events, they can be performed anywhere by anyone. Parking, permitting, flow of traffic, sanitary requirements, power and other utilities, food and beverage, and weather change are all foundational to planning well-run ceremonies. Cocktail receptions. Yachting and cocktails have gone hand in hand for centuries, and nobody throws a better cocktail reception than a high-end yacht club. Most clubs require that events be booked by a member or members, so this may pose an obstacle. If a yacht club isn't available, any venue that evokes a mood suitable for the purpose of the reception will work well. For example, a group of artists would enjoy a gallery reception, and a group of financiers might enjoy one held at the top floor of a building overlooking the financial district. When hosting cocktail parties, know and follow the rules that prevent attendees from over-imbibing, and make sure your permit to serve is in place by the bar service or venue. Galas. By definition, a gala is a lavish event, big, dramatically themed, expensive. Galas typically include food, beverage, and dancing. Restaurants with separate bars and dining room dance floors are a good venue choice for such events. Because the food and beverage is already on site, the gala planner can focus on decor and music, the menu, and even designing signature drinks that fit the theme. These restaurants also feature exceptional staff and atmosphere. Reunions. When old friends or family get together for a reunion, it's usually good to make it last for a few days so everyone has a chance to splinter off and get to know each other again. Cruise ships are ideal for reunions because they feature 2-day to many-week cruises, and everything is included. Food, beverage, accommodation, entertainment, recreation, etc. Reunions aren't so much about keeping the entire group together for structured activities as they are about creating a place where such activities can but don't have to occur. Cruise ships are in the business of allowing people as much or as little of everything as they care to take on. Showers. Typically for brides and expectant mothers, showers offer an opportunity for people whose lives are about to change enjoy their family and friends while being gifted. Though most people think about beaches for weddings, they also make a great venue for showers because they are relaxing, and anyone who is about to marry or become a parent needs some relaxation. When planning a shower at a beach house, restaurant, or on the sand itself, bear in mind that coastal weather can be quite changeable and no one enjoys wind-blown sand in their cake. Plan accordingly. Weddings. Most brides and grooms have a large percentage of their wedding photographs taken outside, and flowers play a major role in the ceremony and reception decor. Thus, botanical gardens are ideal for weddings because they come pre-decorated with living plants and flowers, and almost always have atriums or conservatories that are perfect for the ceremony and allow for the feeling of an outdoor wedding while protecting attendees from inclement weather. We hope these brief descriptions of event types and potential styles inspire you as an event planner to be a creative visionary. These examples barely scratch the surface of event variety and diversity. Remember to listen to your client's needs, then use your imagination to choose an event type and style that will surpass expectations and create indelible memories.